Okay. So, I want to start sharing more about my life experience and the lessons that have come from it. Um, so, in my healing journey, which has led to light language, spiritual awakening, connecting to my starseed origins, unlocking past life memories, interacting with the spirit world, and then in this whole quest of experiences, moving out entities, dissolving contracts, healing, all of it for me has been an effort to move forward with my life. That's a key lesson number one. Whatever we're experiencing is to help us move forward in our soul's journey. So as it came to living a human, domestic, gay man life, whatever the fuck that means, have been encountering, I'm still encountering blocks, emergences, like an emerging of what my soul wants to learn. And that has led to a really interesting process of unlocking what I would call a secret space program experience. So let me start there. When I was 30, I'm 34 now, I started having a revival of memories of being abducted when I was 10, out of my bed. And although I can't actually remember the actual abduction experience, and ending up essentially in a program, a secret space program where they used sexual trauma, torture, intimidation, MK Ultra, hypnosis, programming to essentially create some sort of like sex slave product, but it was more than that. It was, I don't know, kind of like a bird in a cage, like a multi-dimensional bird in the cage. It's like there was something about my soul aspect that they wanted to covet, and the best way to do that was through sexual slavery. And then halfway through this 20 and back experience, somehow this whole this whole experience turned into something more like a super soldier thing. And so I want to start making all my posts about this, about these different aspects of what's happened to me. And, you know, for ages I've avoided talking about it because I don't have any evidence. Uh-oh. That seems like a problem. I don't have any like physical hard evidence. I found plenty of extremely convincing testimonials of people that do have physical evidence of being involved in these secret space programs, but I can't offer any of that to substantiate what it is that I'm exactly talking about. The only thing I've got is an experience. And as I'm processing just the kind of profundity and extremity of what, you know, the cells in my body, the somatic senses of my being has been processing as I just simply want to move forward in my life. You know, when I feel a block or resistance, I do breath work, I go and do the spiritual work and I meet it, and then that's where the emotion is unlocked. I'm like, where is this emotion coming from? And that gives me these facets of this repressed story and memory, which is so out of this fucking world. And it's 20 years. It's 20 years of experience. So my mind is like, how the fuck do I integrate that? So what the way, and so and not only how do I integrate it, but how do I give that meaning into my experience? And so that's kind of the I don't know, the point, I guess, for my soul growth is like, how is to do that. It's like, how do I link my internal experience into the outside world in such an exotic kind of way, right? And for me personally, it's like, well, I want evidence. I want evidence. Now, I have evidence in my own experience, and because this is this is all just living in me. And someone else actually, potentially, but, it's kind of hard to tell. It's all very wobbly, very unfoundationally. So how do I give that meaning, right? I still have to integrate it. I still have to deal with it spiritually. So the point is like, what do I do with that information? How do I give meaning to this process? And of course, it has to do with the spiritual lessons and growth and gems that come out of metabolizing that experience, right? That's it. So whether or not it actually happened, which it did in terms of my experience, whatever that means, that's what I got to roll with what I got, And so that is my steps forward. So what a 20 and back experience is so when I was a 20 and back the experience is I'm abducted at 10 years old. I go into a secret space program. I live 20 years of experience in this program. At the end of the 20 years, I am memory wiped of what I experienced. Then they age regress my body and then take that body back in time and put it back like moments after I was abducted from my bed. And then I continue to live a normal life. So my life stream goes up to 10. I go into this 20-year experience. I get to the end, mind wiped, age regressed, and then put back in time. All of that somatic experience instantly downloaded into my 10-year-old body as a form of horrific nightmares, which I might start my next video explaining, because that's kind of the main evidence I have for myself. And then I continue living my life. And then when I get to 30, when that 20 experience finished, that's when my memory started unlocking. And then I started integrating this dynamic of having a parallel. I was living two lives at the same time, but in a linear sense, I've gone through 54 years of experience. So that's kind of the dynamic of what this 20 and back thing is. 10 years old. I'll just finish it with this because this is a long video, and then I'll start unpacking more about this. When I was 10, I was taken out of my bed from a group of grey aliens called the Maitreya, which come from the Andromeda Galaxy, which I believe, or reckon is connected to my starseed soul cluster. I've got a lot of soul memory of Andromeda. Now, are those memories implanted? Are they real? Is it some part of an elaborate AI system that is like gaslighting my soul's journey that's been imprinted by these beings? So many questions. How can I sit in? It doesn't matter what the exact answer is. What matters is the honoring of this flow and movement. Because that is where the power comes. That is ultimately the lesson of everything we experience existentially. Which is also a very Andromedan quality, by the way, to even talk about that. So that's one thing. Alleged thing. I was abducted by these beings at 10 years old. They needed me to process an aspect of a greater soul, like a multidimensional soul facet that they were unable to interact with or move. And so I had some kind of karma with this collective consciousness aspect from the Andromedan galaxy. So they kind of, in a very grumpy and abusive and violating way, were just kind of really desperate at a very deep soul level. And these beings took their kinship with me at a soul level and sold me into a regressive human secret space program. I don't know what it is or what it's called. And the first memory is just a hallway of tortured children. And this whole kind of traumatizing fracturing of human consciousness. And to see who was pliable, who would submit in the way that they could use. And I was one of those people. And that began, I don't know, like a grooming, like an MK Ultra grooming thing based on this kind of fracturing of guilt and shame for not being able to help these other tortured children. And not everyone survived either. And that began a 20-year experience of being contracted into this human program. And a lot happened. So I will unpack that in the next video. So, bippity boppity boo, and much love to you.